All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. I'm Craig Foley from the Detroit Land Bank Authority, and I'm not sure we could have picked a more beautiful day for an announcement like this one. An announcement that is really going to help beautify this neighborhood and is going to be a huge, huge part of the recovery of the east side of Detroit. The Land Bank was just a small part of this, but we're very, very excited to be a part of this. And I'm going to turn things over for more now to Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan.
All right. Well, good morning. Congratulations to Gary, the RecoveryPark team, the Share House folks, and everybody who has worked so hard on this. One of the questions that we're facing as a city is, what do we do with the vacant land that's been left behind? We're having a very good result right now in the neighborhoods with what we're doing on our demolition and our auctions and our nuisance abatement lawsuits. We're seeing the property values in many of the neighborhoods come back. But we have huge stretches of vacant land in this city, and the question is, what do we do with them? And today is an example that I hope becomes the basis for the development of this land. Today we are leasing, or we are proposing to lease, 35 acres of land to RecoveryPark, and with this 35 acres of land, we're not just going to transform the property, we're going to transform lives. And if you look at this particular program, RecoveryPark, immediately upon approval, and we are submitting this to City Council in the next 2 weeks, so this is going to be subject to approval of the Detroit City Council. It'll be leased from the Land Bank, but we have an agreement with City Council that if it's more than 9 parcels being transferred from the Land Bank to any entity, City Council reviews and approves this action. So it's being sent to City Council for that reason. But upon that approval, it will be the responsibility of RecoveryPark to either demolish or secure the vacant buildings in this area. And they're going to convert one of them across the street to their headquarters, and they're going to convert other buildings for other purposes. But these vacant 35 acres are going to turn into hoop houses, greenhouses, agricultural businesses that could employ up to 128 people. And RecoveryPark goes further than just employing people. They are targeting returning citizens. They're targeting people who are recovering from addictions and our veterans. In many cases, they're taking the hardest to employ folks in our community and putting them to work on land that had been long abandoned and forgotten. And then when they make profits from this, it's going into Share House to provide further support to people who are continuing to fight their addictions. And so I could not be more pleased to be here today. This is the kind of partnership between government and our nonprofits to put people back to work and reuse our land that I hope we see a lot more of. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my partner in this effort, Councilmember Chene-Ayers. Chene?
Well, good morning, everybody. We've got a wonderful day for a wonderful project. As the mayor mentioned, this is going to change lives. We are going to make sure that returning citizens have an opportunity to feel like they're part of our communities again. Whether we want to face it or not, it's not about someone's past or where they're coming from, but it is about the future that we provide for them. So as a legislator, that's my mission. And as the chair of our Returning Citizens Task Force, I couldn't think of any other place to be than right here supporting an effort that allows for a future and a pathway to success. So again, I thank you all for the opportunity to speak, and let's just get this project underway. Thanks.
Well, and now I'd like to bring up Gary Wozniak, who, of course, is the CEO of RecoveryPark. And I just have to tell the story real quick. The first time I met Gary was several years ago on my radio show, and we had a discussion about the possibility of indoor fish farming. And that was an interesting conversation, but it was a far cry from what he's about to tell you about today. The vision has expanded greatly, and I'd like to welcome Gary Wozniak.
Good morning. I'm normally not nervous, but I'm a little nervous today because I'm like a little kid on his way to Boblo Island for the very first time. I mean, this is exciting, and I really can't tell you in strong enough words how exciting this is. You know, the mayor and his economic development team have worked extremely diligently for the last 10 months, 12 months on making sure that RecoveryPark Farms, our business entity, comes to the table to create jobs in the city of Detroit for some of our most challenged people. And I mean, it's just heartfelt thank you. So it's important to remember about RecoveryPark. RecoveryPark is a nonprofit, but our business, RecoveryPark Farms, that's going to develop this neighborhood, is a for-profit business entity that's going to add to Detroit's economic base by creating jobs. We are going to be growing specialty produce. We have specialty produce right now in 15 restaurants. Some of the names that you're familiar with: Selden Standard, Gold Cash Gold, Townhouse, Chartreuse. The specialty produce is sold to chefs, so they're our target market, and grown by Detroiters, exclusively by Detroiters in the city of Detroit. We're merging two of our operations, one coming out of Waterford and a smaller project here in the city of Detroit, into this footprint in the spring. It's going to be a 5-year development project, close to $15 million of new capital investment coming into the neighborhood. Over that 5-year time frame, we hope to have a minimum of 20 acres of hydroponic growing and high tunnel growing for the specialty produce. We're working with a regional distributor on inking a contract later this year or early next year. A minimum of $8 million in specialty produce that's going to take us into 440 restaurants over a 10-year time horizon, so it's pretty exciting that that's happening as well. There's a lot of people that I want to thank in addition to the mayor, but this isn't an Oscar speech, so I'm not going to do that. But I do want to thank some of our investors. I want to thank, first of all, Detroit Development Fund. They were our first seed money of $5,000 a little over 5 years ago to kind of kickstart the project. That was followed by Kresge Foundation that gave us $75,000. It was their first ever exclusive planning grant in the city of Detroit. We were really excited about that. But then our major investor stepped in, and that was the Erb Family Foundation. The Erb Family Foundation over the last 4.5 years has been extremely generous, not only with money, over $1.1 million to support our team and our growth and our understanding of the land that we're standing in, but also helping us model the vision, helping us with mentoring, sometimes, pushing and pulling, because sometimes I get a little hard-headed. But at the end of the day, we're standing here in this wonderful space at what used to be a farmer's market, Chene-Ferry. I used to come here as a kid to watch this neighborhood start to transform itself into an economic powerhouse, and we're really, really excited. Again, I want to thank the city of Detroit, Mayor Duggan. You and your team have just been wonderful. Thank you.
And for some quick remarks, I would like to introduce, of course, Edgar Van, Bishop of Second Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Thank you, Craig. I'm extremely happy to be here this morning. I'm a board member of RecoveryPark, and we've been working on this project for a number of years now. It has taken on several iterations, and we are so grateful because of the great support that we've received from the city and from the mayor's office, from the city council, Councilman Ayers, Councilman Sheffield, and others. We are here today. We are here today because this is a great day for us to talk about job creation. It is a great day for us to celebrate community partnership. It is a great day for us to celebrate the enhancement of those who are often considered the least and the lost in our community. I signed up for RecoveryPark because I knew it would change lives. I knew it would change the economy of this area. And I knew, of course, that it would literally create an industry in this area for which many people who would feel that they are not qualified for other jobs in our community would have an opportunity and have a chance. On a community level, this partnership, this collaboration with our city officials, and of course with this community, is unparalleled. And I'm grateful to be a part of this. I look forward to the jobs that it's going to create. I look forward to the lives that it's going to change. Thank you so much for being here with us.
So I don't do this work by myself. I've got a whole team of people that are working with me. A number of them are in the audience. Raise your hands. But I also have an active board of directors, and I want to introduce Patrick Croson, who is our board chair, to say a few words.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning. Mayor Duggan, dignitaries. On behalf of the members of the Board of Directors, our staff, partners and associates of Recovery Park, we are very excited with you to participate in this announcement today with the City of Detroit in Recovery Park establishing our home in Detroit for meeting our primary mission of providing a neighborhood development which employs those individuals with barriers to employment. I want to commend Gary for his vision, his tireless efforts in bringing this vision into a reality. I also want to thank the Herb Foundation, as Gary did, for without their ongoing support and tolerance for the many twists and turns that we had to take in getting here today, it wouldn't have been without their support we would have made it. On behalf of all of our partners for making this day a reality, I thank you. We look forward to an exciting, rewarding future as we enter into our first steps with the City of Detroit. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of our partners, Dwight, Executive Chairman of SHARE.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here also to echo what this means to me personally. Gary and I have been friends for over 25 years, but about 8 years ago, matter of fact, it was 7 years ago this month, Gary, myself, and a few other people sat in my basement and talked about the idea that became Recovery Park. We started talking about how do we help our citizens. Every year, SHARE serves probably about 2,000 people. Many of them are returning citizens and other challenged people who are looking for a new life. We, as an agency, clean them up, get them clean and ready for a new life. But the big barrier has been always, what do I do about employment? What do I do about housing? Gary Wozniak talked about this idea, which I thought really he was kind of crazy, of taking the land in this city and changing it, repurposing it. And it became known later as urban agriculture, and it became what we call Recovery Park. So I've been involved with this for many years now, and many times also, Gary and I rode around these areas in his truck, talking about his vision and what he hoped to be. So today, to see all of us together and launching this program is very exciting for me. The people we serve at SHARE, as I said before, are disadvantaged. They have hope. They want a lifestyle change. And this venture, this initiative, Recovery Park, will serve that purpose. I've also have brought about one of our former clients who can talk more about Recovery Park and the need for employment, which the mayor has talked about is a great need in this city, as you know. So thank you very much. Thank you. Mark Berkins.
Coming last, I have pretty much can only echo what Mr. Varr and Mr. Wozniak have pointed out, that returning to the community and trying to find viable employment is a large problem these days. Most of the people who go through the program at SHARE, these are the frustrations that they echo the most, that I can't find a job, my family doesn't want to take care of me, I'm a grown man, and what can I do? I'd like to thank Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Varr for their vision in creating Recovery Park, because we're going to need something like this to keep these streets clean, to keep the crime rates down, to keep these people from being repetitive in their behaviors of using drugs or committing crimes. Thank you.
So can you imagine the day when this market is open again with fruits and vegetables and other products all grown right here in the neighborhood by Detroiters, supporting the local restaurants and grocery stores in the city of Detroit. That's what we're building here, and it's going to be very exciting to watch.